What if I told you that there is a simple food that fits in the palm of your hand, costs less than a cup of coffee, and may help support memory and brain health after 60? And what if I told you that the best time to eat it isn't in the morning or afternoon, but right before bed? Today, there's something important you need to know. Something that could completely change the way you think about your brain, your memory, and healthy aging. Because science has spent years studying the connection between nutrition and cognitive health. Researchers from some of the world's leading universities have explored how certain foods may help support the aging brain. Yet many people have never heard about one of the simplest habits that may make a difference. I'm Dr. Michael Carter, and after years of working with adults over 60, I've learned something important. Memory changes are not always as simple as people think. Stay with me until the end of this video because I'm going to share 3 important things with you. First, what food to eat before bed to support brain health. Second, why the timing matters more than most people realize. And third, 3 common habits that may reduce the benefits, and many people do at least one of them every night without even knowing it. But first, we need to talk honestly about something important. According to global health organizations, cognitive decline affects millions of older adults around the world. Memory concerns become increasingly common with age, and many families have experienced the pain of watching someone struggle with forgetfulness. The difficult part is that the earliest signs can be subtle. Walking into a room and forgetting why you went there, taking longer to remember someone's name, misplacing keys more often than before, repeating a question without realizing it. Many people assume these changes are simply a normal part of aging. But while occasional forgetfulness can happen to anyone, changes in memory deserve attention, because the earlier we support brain health, the better. Recently, I met a patient we'll call Margaret, a 68-year-old retired teacher and mother of 3. She came into the office with her daughter. Her daughter spoke first. "Doctor, Mom seems more forgetful lately." Margaret sat quietly, and I noticed something I've seen many times over the years. Concern, not just about memory itself, but about what it might mean. She told me she'd started forgetting small things. Sometimes she would lose track of conversations. Other times, she struggled to remember where she had placed everyday items. Her lab work revealed something commonly seen in older adults: increased inflammation, low vitamin D levels, and low omega-3 status. In many ways, her brain wasn't receiving all the support it needed. That day, alongside discussing broader lifestyle strategies, I suggested one simple nightly habit. A habit that involved a food many people already have sitting in their kitchen. Walnuts. Yes, ordinary walnuts. The same walnuts you can find at almost any grocery store. The same walnuts that may already be tucked away in your pantry right now. Walnuts are among the most nutrient-dense foods for brain health. And there's a fascinating reason why eating them at night may be especially interesting. Take a close look at a walnut. Have you ever noticed how much it resembles the human brain? Its folds, its 2 halves, its shape. For centuries, people noticed this similarity. But modern science isn't interested in appearances. Science looks at nutrients, and walnuts contain several nutrients that researchers have studied extensively for their role in supporting brain health. Tonight, I'll explain 3 of the most important mechanisms. Each one is fascinating on its own. But together, they may help explain why this small food has attracted so much scientific attention. The first involves something your body depends on every night: sleep, specifically deep sleep. Because many people think memory is created during the day, but some of the most important work your brain does actually happens while you're asleep. During deep sleep, your brain processes information, organizes memories, and clears out metabolic waste that accumulates throughout the day. Think of it like a nighttime maintenance crew. While you sleep, your brain gets to work, and when sleep quality suffers, memory may suffer too. This is where walnuts become especially interesting. Because walnuts naturally contain melatonin, a hormone involved in regulating sleep-wake cycles. And what researchers have discovered about melatonin, deep sleep, and memory may surprise you. Because the real story begins not with what you eat, but with what your brain does after you fall asleep. Let's begin with the first mechanism: sleep. Most people think memory happens while they're awake, but some of your brain's most important work actually takes place while you sleep. Every night, while your eyes are closed, your brain organizes information, strengthens important memories, and clears away waste products that accumulate throughout the day. It's like a nighttime cleaning and filing system. The experiences of the day are sorted, important memories are stored, unnecessary information is removed, and your brain prepares itself for tomorrow. But this process depends heavily on one thing: deep sleep. When sleep quality declines, memory often suffers. Names become harder to recall. Concentration decreases, and everyday forgetfulness may become more noticeable. This is why researchers have become increasingly interested in nutrients that support healthy sleep. And walnuts stand out for a unique reason. Walnuts naturally contain melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone involved in regulating your sleep-wake cycle. Your body produces it naturally as evening approaches, helping signal that it's time to rest. Some research has found that consuming walnuts may increase melatonin levels in the body. Why does this matter? Because healthy sleep supports healthy memory. During deep sleep, your brain strengthens connections between neurons and consolidates the experiences you've had throughout the day. Think of your brain as a library. During the day, information arrives constantly. Conversations, names, appointments, experiences. At night, your brain acts like a librarian, placing those memories in the proper location. When sleep is poor, that filing process may not work as efficiently. This may be one reason why people sometimes feel mentally foggy after a restless night. But sleep is only part of the story. The second mechanism involves one of the most important nutrients for brain health, omega-3 fatty acids. Walnuts contain alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fat. Your body can convert a portion of ALA into other omega-3 compounds that play important roles throughout the body. Why is this important? Because the brain is remarkably rich in fat. In fact, a large portion of the brain's structure depends on healthy fats. These fats help support communication between brain cells. You can think of them as helping maintain the pathways that allow messages to travel efficiently throughout the brain. As we age, maintaining these pathways becomes increasingly important. Some studies have found that diets rich in omega-3 fatty acids are associated with better cognitive health and healthy aging. Researchers continue to study exactly how these nutrients affect memory and brain function over time. What's clear is that nutrition matters, and walnuts provide several nutrients that support overall brain health. One study following older adults found associations between regular nut consumption and certain measures of cognitive performance. While no single food is a miracle, nutrition can play an important role in supporting long-term brain health. But perhaps the most fascinating mechanism of all involves something many people rarely think about: inflammation. As we age, chronic low-grade inflammation may affect many systems in the body, including the brain. Researchers sometimes refer to this as inflammaging, the gradual increase in inflammation that can occur over time. Walnuts contain plant compounds called polyphenols. These natural compounds act as antioxidants and may help support the body's defenses against oxidative stress. Among these compounds are L-gitannins. When they reach the gut, they can be transformed into substances that researchers are actively studying for their potential role in healthy aging. Scientists continue exploring how these compounds may support cellular health and brain function. Think of it this way. Your brain works hard every single day. Decades of living create wear and tear, just as they do everywhere else in the body. Providing your brain with supportive nutrients may help it function more efficiently as the years go by. Now you may be wondering, if walnuts are so beneficial, why does eating them before bed matter? The answer lies in timing. Because your brain doesn't perform the same tasks all day long. At night, while you sleep, your brain enters one of its most important periods of maintenance and recovery. And what happens during those nighttime hours may be the key to understanding why this simple habit has gained so much attention among researchers. But there's another surprising factor that may be just as important as the walnuts themselves. And it has nothing to do with swallowing them, it has to do with how you eat them. There's one detail that most people completely overlook when it comes to supporting brain health. It's not only what you eat, it's how you eat it. Researchers have long known that chewing is far more than a mechanical process for breaking down food. In fact, chewing itself activates important areas of the brain. One of those areas is the hippocampus, the region closely involved in memory and learning. Studies have shown that chewing increases blood flow to the brain. And increased blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients reaching the areas that help support cognitive function. That's why the way you eat walnuts may matter just as much as eating them. It's not about swallowing them quickly. It's about slowing down, chewing carefully, paying attention, allowing your body and brain to fully engage in the process. Think about how rarely we do that today. Many people eat while scrolling through their phones. Others rush through meals while watching television. Some barely chew their food at all. But your brain benefits when eating becomes intentional. Every slow bite becomes an opportunity to stimulate blood flow and engage the nervous system. That's why I often recommend treating this habit as a quiet nighttime ritual rather than simply another snack. Now let me share a simple routine. The same type of habit I often discuss with adults who want to support healthy aging and memory. About 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime, sit somewhere calm and comfortable. Take 4 to 6 walnut halves, not a large amount, just enough to fit in the palm of your hand. Chew them slowly, take your time, notice the texture, notice the flavor. Allow yourself to slow down for a moment. Then drink a glass of water and continue with your normal bedtime routine. Simple, affordable, easy to maintain. But before you rush to the kitchen tonight, there are 3 common habits that may reduce the potential benefits of this routine. And many people do them every evening without realizing it. So the first is eating sugary foods before bed. A cookie, candy, sweetened milk, dessert late at night. While an occasional treat is part of life, Heavy sugar consumption close to bedtime may affect sleep quality and overall health. If you enjoy something sweet in the evening, many people prefer lighter options such as berries or kiwi, which can fit into a balanced diet. The second habit involves screens, phones, televisions, tablets, laptops. Modern devices emit blue light, which may interfere with your body's natural production of melatonin. Remember, melatonin plays an important role in preparing your body for sleep. If possible, try reducing screen exposure before bed. Use night mode settings, dim the lights, or consider reading a book instead. Small changes can sometimes make a big difference. The third habit is alcohol before bedtime. Many people believe alcohol helps them sleep, but while it may make you feel sleepy initially, alcohol can disrupt sleep quality later in the night. And if deep sleep is important for memory and brain maintenance, protecting sleep quality becomes especially valuable. If you choose to drink alcohol, many experts suggest doing so earlier in the evening rather than right before bed. Now let's return to Margaret. About 10 days after adopting her new nighttime routine, she returned for a follow-up visit. This time, something seemed different. She appeared more relaxed, more confident. Her daughter smiled before anyone even sat down. She said, "Mom seems sharper lately." Margaret shared that she felt more rested in the mornings. She found it easier to follow conversations, and she felt more mentally clear during the day. Now, it's important to understand something. No single food can guarantee specific results. And walnuts are not a cure for memory disorders. But nutrition, sleep, and daily habits work together. And sometimes, small changes, repeated consistently, can make meaningful differences over time. That's the key, consistency. Because brain health isn't built in a single day. It's built through habits practiced over months and years. Healthy sleep, nutritious foods, physical activity, mental engagement, social connection. All of these pieces matter. Walnuts are simply one small piece of a much larger puzzle. But sometimes, even small pieces can play an important role. And in the next section, we'll discuss why it's never too late to support your brain health, and why many adults over 60 may underestimate just how adaptable the brain can still be. One of the most important things I want you to understand is this. Your brain is far more adaptable than most people realize. For many years, scientists believed that the aging brain had very limited ability to change or improve. Once certain functions declined, they thought there was little that could be done. But modern research has painted a much more hopeful picture. The brain remains capable of change throughout life. This ability is known as neuroplasticity. In simple terms, neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to adapt, create new connections, and strengthen existing ones. And this process doesn't stop at 60. It doesn't stop at 70. And it doesn't stop at 80. Your brain continues responding to the environment you create for it every day. The foods you eat, the quality of your sleep, your physical activity, your stress levels, your social interactions, your mental challenges. All of these factors help shape brain health over time. That's why healthy aging isn't about one miracle food or one perfect habit. It's about giving your brain the support it needs consistently. Think about the brain like a garden. If you water it, nourish it, and care for it regularly, it has a better chance to thrive. But if it's neglected for years, the garden becomes harder to maintain. The encouraging news is that it's rarely too late to start. I've spoken with many adults who assumed memory changes were simply something they had to accept. But often, after improving sleep, nutrition, movement, and daily routines, they noticed meaningful differences in how they felt. Not because aging stopped, but because they gave their brains better support. And that's an important distinction. The goal isn't to become 20 years younger. The goal is to help your brain function as well as possible at every stage of life. Now let's talk about another important factor that many people overlook: inflammation. Researchers continue studying how chronic inflammation may influence the aging process, including brain health. While inflammation is a natural part of the body's defense system, long-term inflammation may affect various organs and systems over time. This is one reason why a lifestyle that supports overall health becomes increasingly important as we age. Nutritious foods, regular movement, quality sleep, stress management, social connection. These habits work together, and they often reinforce one another. For example, better sleep may improve energy. More energy may encourage physical activity. Physical activity may support brain health. And improved brain health may enhance overall quality of life. Everything is connected. This is also why no single habit should carry all the responsibility. Walnuts may be one helpful piece of the puzzle, but brain health is built from many pieces working together. Nutrition matters, sleep matters, movement matters, relationships matter, mental stimulation matters, and consistency matters most of all. Perhaps the most encouraging thing about brain health is that small changes often add up over time. A better bedtime routine, a little less screen time, more nutrient-rich foods, more movement during the day. One positive habit alone may seem small, but several healthy habits practiced consistently can create meaningful changes over months and years. Think back to Margaret. Her improvement wasn't about one food alone. It was about creating a routine that supported better sleep and healthier habits overall. Sometimes the smallest routines become the ones that last the longest. 4 to 6 walnut halves, 30 to 60 minutes before bed, chewed slowly, enjoyed mindfully, combined with healthier evening habits, simple, affordable, easy to begin tonight. And while no one can promise specific results, creating a routine that supports brain health is always an investment worth making. Because memory isn't only about remembering names or appointments. Memory is deeply connected to independence, to relationships, to stories, to experiences, to the moments that give life meaning. Protecting brain health means protecting those moments, and perhaps that's one of the most valuable investments any of us can make. But before we finish, there's one final message I want to share with you. Because if you've been worried about memory changes, feeling discouraged, or wondering whether it's already too late, I want you to hear this clearly. The future of your brain may be more hopeful than you think. If you've been worried about memory changes, I want to speak to you directly for a moment. Not just as a health professional, but as someone who has spoken with countless adults who share the same concern. Many people quietly fear memory loss. They worry when names take longer to recall. They become frustrated when they misplace their keys. They wonder whether these small moments mean something more serious, and sometimes that fear can feel overwhelming. But here's something important to remember. Experiencing occasional forgetfulness does not automatically mean something is seriously wrong. Memory changes can have many causes: poor sleep, stress, nutritional deficiencies, lack of physical activity, medication side effects, and sometimes simply the natural changes that come with aging. The important thing is not to ignore changes that concern you. Pay attention, talk with your healthcare provider if needed, and focus on the habits that support brain health over the long term. Because while aging is inevitable, supporting your brain is always worthwhile. One of the greatest myths about aging is the belief that it's too late to make a difference, but research continues to show that healthy habits matter at every age. Your brain remains responsive, your body remains adaptable, and small changes practiced consistently can have meaningful effects over time. That's why habits like prioritizing sleep, eating nutrient-rich foods, staying physically active, and remaining socially connected are so important. These habits don't work overnight. They work gradually, quietly, one day at a time. And perhaps that's what makes them so powerful. Think about the nightly routine we've discussed today. 4 to 6 walnut halves, 30 to 60 minutes before bed, chewed slowly and mindfully, combined with reduced screen time, less sugar before bed, and healthier evening habits. Simple habits often become sustainable habits, and sustainable habits are the ones most likely to last. Of course, it's important to be realistic. Walnuts are not a miracle cure. They do not treat or cure Alzheimer's disease or dementia. If you or someone you love has concerns about memory loss or cognitive decline, always speak with a qualified healthcare professional. Healthy habits are meant to complement medical care, not replace it. But if you've noticed subtle changes in memory, if names take longer to remember, if you occasionally lose track of where you place things, if you've wondered whether there might be something you can do to support your brain, this may be one simple habit worth considering, because brain health is not built from one dramatic action. It's built from small decisions repeated over time. One healthy meal, one good night's sleep, one walk around the neighborhood, one meaningful conversation, one mindful evening routine. Over weeks, months, and years, these small choices can add up, and sometimes those small choices become the foundation for healthier aging. I want to leave you with this thought. Your memories are more than information. They're your experiences, your relationships, your stories, the moments that have shaped your life. Supporting brain health isn't only about remembering names or appointments. It's about preserving the moments that matter most. The laughter of family, the stories of childhood, the faces of people you love, the experiences that make life meaningful. And while none of us can control every aspect of aging, we can influence many of the habits that shape our health. So, if you'd like to try this simple routine tonight, do it with curiosity. Observe how you feel. Pay attention to your sleep. Notice your energy. Notice your focus. Small changes may not always happen overnight, but consistency often reveals results over time. Thank you for spending this time with Dr. Michael Carter. If you found this information helpful, consider sharing it with someone who may benefit from it. A spouse, a parent, a friend, or anyone who cares about healthy aging and memory. And before we finish, I'd love to hear from you. Do you already eat walnuts? Would you consider trying this bedtime routine? Let us know in the comments below. Because this community is filled with people who believe that healthy aging is possible, and that it's never too late to take steps toward a healthier future. Remember, preventive care is often one of the most powerful forms of care. Your brain is remarkable. Your body is adaptable, and your future may be more hopeful than you think. Until next time, stay curious, stay healthy, and keep investing in the habits that help you live life to the fullest.